Hello, all my fellow gamers and horror movie fans. I'm Mike C, and welcome into the Chrono Cabin. And this is where I love to talk to you about horror films and all genres of video games. Welcome to my weekend watch and play edition. This is my laid back weekend episode where I just like to talk to you about what's kind of on my radar to watch over the weekend, as well as some of the video games that I'm kind of immersing myself in. And this is actually the first weekend in the Halloween season. Yes, it's the first weekend of October. So I'm pretty excited. I'm trying to get into the holiday spirit. I hope you're enjoying the fall weather, and I hope you are getting into the Halloween spirit as well. Maybe some of these films and some of these games might help you get into that spirit. So even though this weekend is the official start of Halloween, here at the Chrono Cabin, I actually started the countdown to Halloween on September 1st. And since September 1st, I have been watching a horror film a night, and I will continue to do so all the way to Halloween. And if you want, you can follow my TikTok and my Instagram accounts, because there I post each day which horror film I will be watching that night. So if you want, you can go back and see all the stuff that I've been watching, and you can continue now to see all of the movies that I will be watching all the way to Halloween. The links to my Instagram and TikTok and other social media are below. So this weekend, what's on the list? We'll start off with the horror film. So tonight's film, I am going to be watching The Boy Behind the Door. This is a Shudder exclusive. I have never seen it, so I don't know if it's good or bad. My friends who share similar tastes in horror movies have told me that it is a very good movie and I'll probably enjoy it. So it does look good. I don't know too much about it. I don't know if this really has a Halloween type vibe. It is a horror movie, but some horror movies have better Halloween vibes. So not sure if I could say that this is going to be a great Halloween vibe type movie, but I think it's going to be a fun watch. Last night I actually watched Seance, and that was another Shudder exclusive, and I actually enjoyed it. And to me, that one kind of has more of a Halloween vibe to it. I like the way it was filmed. It looked good. You might be thinking I'm endorsed by Shudder. I'm not. I'm actually relatively new to Shudder. You're probably saying, wow, you're a horror movie fan, but you haven't had a subscription to Shudder. I mean, I'm probably losing credibility on my channel already. Actually, a good friend of mine just gave me Shudder, a year subscription to Shudder for my birthday, and which was really cool, really surprised. But the funny thing is, I was about to get a subscription myself because a lot of friends have told me that Shudder has gotten really good. So there's a lot of new stuff on it. And sure enough, I checked out Shudder, and on there they have a lot of classics, and there's a lot of great movies that I haven't seen. So my plan always for Halloween is I try to watch a lot of horror movies I haven't seen, and then as I get closer to Halloween, I start watching the more classic films that I really enjoy. So if you're thinking about diving into Shudder, this is probably a great month to do it, because why not? Halloween's coming up. Just in this last couple days, I have really been enjoying it. There's some great stuff on there. Speaking of my birthday, I actually did get a Ouija board once for my birthday. Some friend of mine gave it to me, and you know what I did? I threw it in the trash. Never used it. I won't use it.
Ouija boards are weird. It's like you throw a party for a bunch of people, but then those people bring all these uninvited guests. Very rude.
I'd agree with Billy the Puppet there. Yeah, that's a good analogy. When you use a Ouija board, you kind of get some unwanted guests. Yeah, very good, Billy the Puppet. Very good. Now, actually, this isn't a horror movie. This is actually a series, but it's a limited run series on Netflix, and it is Midnight Mass. And it's by Mike Flanagan. I was a big fan of The Haunting of Hill House. I really didn't like The Haunting of Bly Manor that much. It just wasn't for me. I watched the whole thing. I thought it was filmed well. It was acted well. Music was great. It just didn't get me in. It was more of a love story than anything. And some of you may like that. I don't know. I like The Haunting of Hill House a lot more. If you start watching Midnight Mass, you'll see a lot of the same actors and actresses from The Haunting of Hill House and The Haunting of Bly Manor. And Mike Flanagan just likes working with this cast, and he tends to use the same actors and actresses in his productions. So this limited series, which is about 7 episodes, Midnight Mass, is not actually in the same universe as the Haunting movies. This is its own thing, and I started watching it. It's not exactly the most Halloween vibe type show, but it's a great series, and I really like it because the dialogue is amazing. It's really well written, it's really well shot, it's beautifully shot. Music is great, the production value is great. Some of the best monologues are just in the first and second episodes, and I'm only 2 episodes in so far, so I'm going to watch the rest of those this weekend. But I think this is a great show to pick up, especially between now and Halloween. Even though it doesn't necessarily have that vibe, it is creepy. It's kind of a slow burn, but I like that sometimes, and it really sucks you in. So the characters are great so far. I'm really enjoying it, so I'm looking forward to watching the rest of that. On the gaming front, what am I playing this weekend? Well, I'm sure you're all dying to know. I'm just telling you what I enjoy, by the way. So I am playing Resident Evil Village, and I am having a fantastic time with this game. I am, funny enough, relatively new to the Resident Evil franchise. Again, I'm probably discrediting myself on my own video, on my own channel. But yeah, Resident Evil is a franchise I really haven't gotten into. But I gotta tell you, I really love Resident Evil. So I started off by playing the remasters of Resident Evil and then Resident Evil 0 on the Switch. By the way, you can pick those up. I do believe they're on sale right now. Don't quote me on that. I got it for about $30 and I had some points, so I ended up getting it for like $24, which was great. And it was kind of fun for me to go back and see how the original Resident Evil looked and played, and the remaster actually looks great. I had a great time with it. It's a different style of gameplay. It's horror survival in a lot of ways. There's not a lot of action. Resident Evil 0, I haven't gotten in too much yet. I've mostly been playing Resident Evil, the original. But I did go ahead and I skipped ahead to Resident Evil Village. Now, one thing, as I started Resident Evil Village, there was a thing that said, hey, do you want to watch the ending to Resident Evil 7? And I thought, you know what, maybe it might be better just to play it. I have PlayStation Plus, it's free on PlayStation Plus. So before I actually started playing Resident Evil Village, I did play Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. And I kind of recommend that you play that game first because it really leads into Resident Evil Village. So the story of Resident Evil Village picks up from a couple years later from when Resident Evil 7 Biohazard ended. And Biohazard was a great game. I really enjoyed it. Again, kind of being new to the franchise, you do not have to play any games prior. You could actually start with Resident Evil 7 and then play Resident Evil Village. And even if you don't have a PS5, it looks great on PS4. So no reason you can't play it. These are great games, in my opinion, to play to get you into the Halloween spirit, because they are genuinely creepy and the gameplay is interesting. There's in Resident Evil 7, there's not a lot of action, but there's boss fights and there's enough action. It's very story driven, very first person survival. There's lots of little puzzles you have to solve. And again, you don't really have to even play 7 if you don't want. If you want to go straight to 8, you can. You can watch the ending to 7 and then go into 8. These kind of stand on their own in a lot of ways. I just think you'll have a better experience if you play Resident Evil 7 first and then Resident Evil 8. I'll have more on these games later. Resident Evil 8 is what I'm really immersed in this weekend, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It is creepy, it is fun, looks great, and it plays really well. Just a fantastic game. I am having a great time with it, and it's putting me very, very much into the Halloween spirit. Anyway, I'd be curious to hear what you're all watching, what you're playing currently, what you might recommend for Halloween type games and horror movies. Have a happy weekend, everyone. Enjoy the beautiful fall weather and enjoy getting into the spirit of Halloween. If you enjoy the content on this channel, please subscribe. Please give the video a like, and you can ring that bell for future notifications whenever I release new videos. Enjoy your weekend, everyone, no matter what you watch, whatever game you play. I hope you have a great one.